Hi everyone. It's Wednesday, the 25th of September, 2019. So we're going to have a look at movies today. This is Bernard on behalf of MovieGameNostalgia.com. So today we're going to have a look at some movies. We've got 6 releases for you today. And they're all, let me see, I've seen 4 of them. So that's not too bad, is it? So it's a little bit better than we usually get to see and stuff like that. Right, the first one we're going to look at, it's called The Goldfinch, based on a best-selling novel, a Pulitzer Prize winner, The Goldfish. 2 hours, 29 minutes, a 15 rating, a drama. A baby in New York is taken in by a wealthy Upper East Side family after his mother is killed in a bombing at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Its director is John Crowley, writers Peter Strawn, does the screenplay, and Donatar, obviously based, the novel is based, did the novel that this film is based on. Stars Oakes Fegley, Ansel Elgort, Nicole Kidman. So good old Nicole Kidman's back. It's getting a 6.3 out of 10 rating on IMDb, which is quite a healthy rating, as you can appreciate. But the critics didn't like it. I mean, I'm looking at the Metacritics here. So the critics themselves, ranging from the highest score was IGN with 7 out of 10, right down to 2.5 out of 10 from Anne Hornaday from the Washington Post, who says it was overstuffed, overlong, utterly uninvolving. This is a movie that feels as morbidly trapped as the poor little bird of its title. Rather than spread its wings and fly free, it stays frustratingly, eternally inert. So she obviously didn't like it. There's a lot of low reviews, 4s and 5s. Hollywood Reporter give it 5. Vanity Fair give it 5. Benjamin Lee at The Guardian give it 6. It's neither a rousing success nor an embarrassing failure. So that's pretty average. And IGN was the highest score with a 7. Theo is an engaging character. So the critics, they're not overly enamoured with it. So we've looked at the critics. What we really want to see, don't we, is you and me, Joe Blog on the street, who just go out and watch this, and some of us pay. Obviously, some of these have probably might have got in for 3 because they might have seen previews of it and stuff like that. But we're the ones who pay the money, aren't we? Obviously. And here we go. The critics are wrong about this one. I had high hopes for this movie ever since it was announced. It had a cast, an all-star cast, and the novel, though I never read it, it was considered great. So when the negative reviews came out, I lowered my expectations. I'm so glad I did. The cinematography was great, as well as the directing. The shape of the future. What I found more fascinating in the story is how the main characters evolve and are moulded, not so much by circumstances, but by relatives, friends, and other people that enter their lives. Beyond my expectations. Critics are wrong. Don't listen to the critics. So this is it. I mean, I've seen the trailer of this, and the trailer, it looks really, really good. But critically, it's getting panned. Perhaps it's a bit long, 2 hours, 29 minutes. Perhaps it is hard work for 2 hours and 29 minutes, but hey, there you go. That's what it is. So that's the Goldfinch. That's out on general release, based on the Pulitzer Prize winning novel. Right, the next one we're going to have a look at is called Ready or Not. Now, this I watched with my good lady Sharon a couple of weeks ago. Meta review. So the old critics are giving it 6.4 out of 10, which is quite a healthy score. Ready or Not is a story, I will tell you now. A bride's wedding night takes a sinister turn when her eccentric new in-laws force her to take part in a terrifying game. It's an 18 certificate, an hour and 35 minutes, a bit long for me. Comedy, horror, mystery. So the Metacritics have given it 6.4 out of 10, which is quite nice. I give it 5.5, which means anything under a 6 from me means I don't really recommend to watch it. But hey, everyone's got their own opinions, haven't they? And the Metacritics go from an 8 out of 10 from Variety. The violence here is so over the top, Peter de Bruges. This is so over the top as it can lapse into comedy, prompting shock laughter. I wish. When certain characters are unexpectedly killed, and again, when it comes time to dispose of their bodies, none of which can adequately prepare you for the film's explosively funny finale. I'll have to go back and watch the finale. I'll have to admit, I turned it off after about an hour. So I probably will go back and watch, and perhaps my 5.5 score will be increased. Who knows? and they go down to 5 and 5.8, which is a bit like I've got. The LA Times, Katie Walsh, while the mocking tone mostly undermines any trenchant commentary, the strongest impression Ready or Not leaves, thanks to Weaving's eye-rolling, primal screaming, evil giggling performance, is of the cathartic, transformative female rage at the centre of it all. So, obviously, he's concentrating on one character. Look at the users who obviously liked it better than me. So there you go. Go out and watch it. Don't take any notice of what I say. The users love it. They give it 7.2 out of 10 overall, the rating. So I'm in a minority on this one, I think. So 8 out of 10, not bad. Not bad. You give it 8 out of 10. Honestly, this is a great film. Really funny and entertaining. See it for yourself. Please don't compare this with any other damn film. Well, I don't know what I'd compare it with, to be honest with you. 8 out of 10, fast-paced and well done. I'm not a horror film buff. Once in a while, I see one that is different and interesting enough to capture. This is that movie. It's well-paced and barely left me ready for the next terror. 2 out of 10. We're editing this with a makeshift ending. This movie sucks so much. It's about time the production gave up on it. Come back with a proper ending, proper on-screen kill. So, I mean, they're totally different to what the other people were saying. The other people were saying it was a great ending and made it all, but hey, I watched this. We both watched. As I say, we actually turned it. We actually, myself and Sharon, my dear fiance, actually suffered through an hour of this, and we turned it off. And yet, I went back and watched the trailer yesterday just to familiarise myself with it again. I haven't forgotten the film. I haven't forgotten how bad it was. And the trailer makes it look really, really good. And as I said, user reviews 7.2 out of 10, which is a good score. So hey, I might be in the wrong. If you like a silly murdering, it's well shot. I mean, don't get me wrong, the cinematography is excellent, and I wanted to laugh at it. There was sort of elements in it where I want to laugh, but I'm not, because it is over the top. There's a bit of comedy in it, but it left me a bit flat, to be honest with you. So I didn't really enjoy that. Right, on to another one, which obviously is obviously getting different reviews as well. They always do, don't they? Skin. We've got here now with our own wonderful Jamie Bell in it. It's a 15 rating. It's an hour and 58 minutes. So getting a little bit long. It was a little 10, 15 minutes too long for me. Biography, crime drama. That said, I did enjoy it. I give it a 6.5 out of 10 this. So that's certainly a watchable thing. A destitute young man raised by racist skinheads and notorious among white supremacists turns his back on hatred and violence to transform his life with the help of a black activist and the woman he loves. Directed by Gary Native and written by Gary Native. Stars Jamie Bell, as I said, Daniel McDonald, Daniel Henshaw. There was actually, I think Jamie actually spent a lot of time with the guy who was obviously, it's based on a true story, with the guy who did this. So his portraying it was very good. I have nothing against the way Jamie Bell portrayed it at all. The critics 5.8 out of 10, which isn't great, but it's not a total disaster. 7.5 out of 10 by the film stage. A just world would place Bell in the awards conversation, but ours will probably not give Skin the platform necessary for that to happen. Yeah, I mean, he did well. I won't go over the top. Another 7.5 out of 10, Movie Nation, Roger Moore, not the Roger Moore, obviously. It is Bell who makes the movie, belligerent, coil fury from the tip of his bald head to the toes. So they liked it. Then it goes down to 5 out of 10, which is the lowest mark from the AB Club, and 5.8 out of 10 from Consequence of Sound. New York Times, 6 out of 10, a blistering story of rage and redemption that never fully illuminates the journey from one to the other. So that's the critics who give it just under 6. But obviously, again, the users like it a lot more than the critics do. So the user reviews, they're 7.1 out of 10, the users. I'll have a look at a couple of those for you. As I say, I'll give it 6.5, so I can find one around there. 5 out of 10, not bad, but only interesting because it's a true story, so that's only 5. Here we go. 7 out of 10, fast but executed very well. Light movie, well, I won't call it a light movie, with a really good execution. The fact there's a couple of movies that come with this vibe still make this movie worth a try. Solid with its own substance, good story, not too overly long, just right. So they liked it. 8 out of 10. Snitches got stitches. 10 out of 10. This is a best picture worthy, better than American History X. No, I would say American History X was slightly better. Movie, I know things like Romper Stomper reminded me of things like that as well. 7 out of 10. Not the Bally Billy. Billy has come a long way. He's excellent, obviously referring to Jamie Bell. Based on true events, always gets my attention. This one certainly did. So yeah, there's a lot of positivity by the users on Skin. I liked it. First 15-20 minutes, I struggled to get into it, to be honest with you. I thought it was going to be a bit of a letdown, but I didn't. It sort of grew on me, and there's poetic license, obviously. There's people, there's critics saying, obviously, the guy in the centre of the film, some of the story isn't real, but there's poetic license, like there is in any true story. This next film I'm going to talk about, there's poetic license in this as well, even though it's a gritty subject. But yeah, gritty subjects. If you like that sort of American history, ex-romper stomper sort of thing, go out and watch it. I wouldn't put you off going watching Skin. And as we say, Jamie Bell is excellent. Does a really, really good job. On to the next one, which I think is, an Amazon production, this one. So it could actually be being released on Amazon Prime at the same time. But it does have a limited cinema release if you want to search this one out. And this is my highest scored one of the week. It's called Hotel Mumbai. It's a 2 hours, 3 minutes, which was okay time-wise. It's about 10 or 15 minutes, perhaps too long. Drama, history, thriller. And this is a sad, true, terrible story of the Taj Hotel terrorist attack in Mumbai. Hotel staff risk their lives to keep everyone safe as people make unthinkable sacrifices to protect themselves and their families. Director Anthony Maras, writers John Colley, Anthony Maras, stars Dev Patel, Arnie Hammer, Nazanin Boniadi. Sorry, Nazanin, if I've pronounced that totally wrong there. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, this is a gritty. I'd give this 8 out of 10. Very powerful, very gritty. To be honest with you, if you're not into gruesome, don't go and watch this at the cinema because you'll find yourself walking out. You've got to have a strong stomach for this one. It doesn't mess about. Within 15 to 20 minutes, you know exactly where this film is going. The critics give it 6.4 out of 10, which is pretty good. They range from 5 out of 10 at the bottom there, 6 out of 10 in Variety. Sitting through the harrowing events again nearly a decade later could hardly be described as entertainment. Absolutely true. And the film plays to many of the same unseemly impulses that make disaster movies so compelling. Absolutely. Exploiting the tragedy of the situation for spectators' sake. Yeah, there's a lot of these sort of films where they show something really like the 9/11 thing. They are frowned upon if they're released far too early, but obviously over time, memories fade a little bit, and perhaps it's good to be reminded of these sort of things. We got 9 out of 10 from Film Threat, and 8 out of 10 from The Guardian. Hotel Mumbai is an excellent white knuckle thriller and an unlikely crowd pleaser. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't really put that much better myself. It's something you can't say you enjoy it because you don't enjoy things like this. It's awful. It's awful to watch, and obviously, most of it is true. I mean, the producers of the film had access to the terrorists' mobile phone calls, etc. So this was actually used. So a lot of it, there are elements in it where some of the characters aren't quite as portrayed in this film that they were. Always nice to go and watch. Not nice, wrong word. I'm using the wrong word. It's hard, isn't it? It's always well to go and look at some of the documentaries that were produced around about the same time as well, to get a feel for these sort of things. Don't just go off the film. If you're interested in the thing, go back and look at it. The Users, 10 out of 10, very emotional and good movie. I really like this movie, and that's because the emotions that were there, it's just wow. An 8 out of 10, which reflects my score. Tambik, I am late to this party, but it is worth it. As much as I want to defend all those reviews shooting the movie down, I'd rather shoot back the words Hotel Mumbai has been on my watch list since forever, and I'm glad I could finally put my brains to it. This is one of the movies that I do not constantly judge. Being a professional scriptwriter, the start of the movie is crisp. It gets to the point without beating around the bush. And then you get a 1 out of 10, very slow, boring film. Absolutely not. There's nothing boring about this film. It goes a bit quiet in the middle bit. I mean, when you've got such a gritty 15-20 minute start where you boom, 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 everything hits you. You get to know some of the characters very quickly. You get to know the protagonists, the terrorists themselves, who are all young men. And obviously, I wouldn't say it was ever boring. There may be little elements in the film that do go off the pace a little bit, but never boring. 10 out of 10, intense, entertaining, and refreshing. 9 out of 10, I was hooked immediately. 10's had me hooked from the first minute. How anyone can give this a thumbs down is beyond me. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say that it's one of those films that, yeah, horrible things to look at. But it does make you go back, and watch the documentaries at the time and relive the thing. I'd recommend it. But as I said, if you're a little bit squeamish and you don't, I mean, all credit to Sharon who watched it with me. She stuck with it, but she was affected by it. It is a very effective. It's very, very effective film, and yes, seek that out on Amazon or is on restricted. Is on. I mean, it would be a good big screen film to watch. So go seek out a cinema and watch that. That's Hotel Mumbai on general release. And the next one we look at, Don't Let Go. Obviously, I let go of this one, to be honest with you. 15, an hour and 43 minutes, a little bit too long. Drama, fantasy, horror. Yeah, a bit sci-fi, even though it don't, you know, after a man's family dies in what appears to be a murder, he gets a phone call from one of the dead, his niece. He's not sure if she's a ghost or if he's going mad, but it turns out he's not. Jacob Estes is the director. He wrote it and stars Storm Reed, Byron, Mann, and Alfred Molina. Some of these characters I wasn't overly familiar with. They're quite new to me. There's no meta scores. They're only giving it 5 out of 10, which I'll tell you now is a bit like my score. I'm giving it 5.1 out of 10. They range from as low as a 4. The Washington Post give it 5. Michael O'Sullivan. Don't Let Go manages at times to generate a nicely weird Twilight Zone vibe, but fails to sustain it, as it runs into some of the same problems that plague movies of this ilk. Yes, I mean, obviously, time travel, you just got to turn your brain off and accept these sort of things. Then you got up at 7.5, San Francisco Chronicles, 7 out of 10, The Hollywood Reporter, John Defoe. Estes finds a way to twist things up, organically adding a Groundhog Day element. Time still moving forward towards Ashley's death, but the detective work gets more interesting. So he liked it, say, but overall it's only getting about 5. And user reviews, not a lot of different. We're only getting an average 5.8 out of 10. So there's not a lot of difference. And I'll just tell you my thoughts on this because I think a couple of people point this out. 8 out of 10, good plot, a little hard to follow and slow moving. I wouldn't say it was slow moving. I would say, yes, it is hard to follow. Story a bit creative. Not really. We've been there before, which I'll tell you about in a minute. 9 out of 10, a movie well worth the price of admission. I've become a fan of Mr. Oyelowo in recent years. I've come to appreciate his performances and all his roles. This movie had on the edge of my seat. There you go. 1 out of 10, save your money. Well-made crime thriller, 9 out of 10 with some Twilight Zone. I wanted to see it twice. No, I'm sorry. The thing is, I've only given this 5.5 out of 10, and the reason I've only given it 5.5 out of 10 is because it's been done better. It was done better in the year 2000 when I had my video shop and I watched a film called Frequency with Dennis Quaid and Jim Caviezel, I think it's pronounced. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Who we didn't have the internet as such then, with mobile phones as such then. And it's all done through a ham radio where a guy obviously gets a call from his son who's died, and it's exactly the same story. This isn't done as well. If you've not seen Frequency, go back and watch Frequency. But yeah, all right, if you want to watch a time travel thing that you have to concentrate on, because this overcomplicates things. I don't think it's as complicated in the original Frequency, but this does complicate it, and it just becomes a bit of a mishmash and a bit. You have to sit and concentrate and watch it, and to me, it just didn't work. It just wasn't good enough. That's Don't Let Go. It's on general release on Friday. As I say, some people like it. They don't need to give it 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, stuff like that. But no, not for me. I wouldn't recommend you go and watch that. Just below my rating for actually films that are watchable. So there you go. And the last one we're going to look at today is a film called Tomorrow. There's only 4 reviews on this, so it shouldn't take too long. And it's a British-based film, even though Martin Scorsese is involved in it. It's a 15 rated. It's on a limited release, so you'll have to search this one out if you fancy it. Some good British names in it. Even Stephen Fry makes an appearance in this. It's a 15, an hour and 32 minutes, a drama. A war veteran struggling to find a reason to live is befriended by a man who lives every day as though it's his last. Director Martha Pinson, writer Stuart Brennan, Sebastian Street, Sebastian Street, Stuart Brennan. So writers and stars, well done, lads. Did really well there. It's getting a 7.1 overall rating from everyone who's actually bothered to put a score down, user ratings. There's no critics ratings on this. But just to show you, there's 4 reviews, and you've literally got 2 10 out of 10s, a 2 out of 10, and a 1 out of 10. So obviously everything's split. 10 out of 10, an excellent movie. Director Martha Pinson, executive producer Marty Scorsese surprised me when I started watching, as it was entirely British. The English terms used really enhanced the comedy. So to me, it's a typical British drama comedy film there. So go and watch that. I mean, I think it's really good, but there you go. 2 out of 10. Not sure what movie other reviewers have been watching, but this was an extremely disappointing watch. Interestingly, that is a fine line earlier about laziness, and this was the overwhelming feeling I had about the quality of this script. 1 out of 10, one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And then another 10 out of 10, brilliant. We've just been to see Tomorrow, and we were pleasantly surprised. Didn't read what it was about other than about a war veteran. Really great film, great storyline, and the characters were easy on the eye. So there you go. We got 2 guys with a low mark and 2 guys with a high mark. I've seen a trailer of this. I think it's possible the guys with the low mark aren't weren't sort of British based, and it does have a lot of British feel to it, a bit of comedy, drama, a bit of a mix of everything. I wouldn't put you off going watching Tomorrow. I'll say it's getting a good 7.1 score. So that's out on release this week. So that's it. 6 films. My favourite, obviously, Hotel Mumbai. But be warned, it is very, very powerful. We have the Goldfinch, Ready or Not, Skin, Don't Let Go, Tomorrow, and of course Hotel Mumbai, which I've just talked about. Well, that's it for that. Hope you enjoyed that. Quick one today. It was 21 minutes, so I'll try to get through the 6 films. Hope you enjoyed that review of what's on at the UK cinema. I'll be back tomorrow with my 90s and 2000 movies and posters, and on Friday I'm doing a special on the Joker, which is out next week. Just as a special thing, just looking at the film, but also looking at other people who played the Joker. And obviously there's been a bit of furore about the violence in the Joker film and how it may affect other people. So I'll be looking into that as well. I mean, obviously being an old, been around in the video game things when they first came out, there was a lot of links with video games and violence, and obviously you're going to get it with films and violence and books with violence, etc., etc. I'll be having a little bit of my thoughts on that as well in this Joker special I'm doing on Friday. Give us push the notifications if you enjoy that. Tell your friends about me. Give us a thumbs up. It's always nice to get thumbs up if you watch this. Obviously, if you want to subscribe, just push that button. I'm on Twitter at nostalgia_movie. I'm on YouTube on this channel, also with a link to Citizen, which is my football vlogs, which are based on Manchester City. If you're into Manchester City, that's on my YouTube thing. Facebook, I'm under Bernadine with links to moviegamenostalgia.com, my website for rare DVDs, posters, board games. So just go on there, have a look around. Anything you're after that's perhaps older and rarer, give us a shout. I can help you out or point in the right direction. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. It's another miserable day. As I said, it's going to be a bit bleak in Manchester this week. And I'll see you all tomorrow. And whatever you're doing with the rest of your Wednesday, have a great one. And look after yourself and look after your family and friends. I'll see you all again tomorrow. Bye for now. Bye.